Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving may have ruined the Brooklyn Nets. Now, before we get into the video, make sure you like and subscribe, man. We're dropping a lot of videos over here, and I would love it if you guys would join the crew. Now, before we get into the video, I want to say this is not a hate video on Kevin Durant or Kyrie. This is me just saying how I feel about the whole situation has been since they joined the Nets. In the summer of 2019, Kyrie Irving decided to take his talents back to his hometown and sign with the Brooklyn Nets. Following him out of nowhere was Kevin Durant. All of this coming after exciting 2 years of rebuilding and making the playoffs led by D'Angelo Russell and a fun young core. But in KD's signing, they had to get off some money, so they decided to trade D'Lo to the Warriors in exchange for Kevin Durant. While doing so, they also decided to fire Kenny Atkinson and sign former two-time MVP Steve Nash. Now, the reason why they signed Steve Nash was because of KD and Kyrie. First of all, they felt like they didn't really need to have a coach. They felt like they were good enough without one. But they backed up the Steve Nash signing as they signed someone that the two players actually respected. Now, the first year in the Brooklyn Nets jersey, it kind of went the way we all thought it would. Kyrie played a lot, but he also got hurt sometimes, but he had a good year, and KD missed the whole year as he tore his Achilles in the NBA Finals. The next season was their season to chase a championship, as they had a very good, fun, stacked team with Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, DeAndre Jordan, Joe Harris, and many others, even including Paul Millsap. Their starting lineup opening day was Kyrie Irving, Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Jordan. Now, you're probably wondering, why is a 31-year-old DeAndre Jordan starting over a player that they drafted in Jared Allen, who was actually up and coming at that time? Well, Kevin Durant and Kyrie, from the articles that I read, forced the Nets to once sign DeAndre Jordan, and doing that, they had to actually start him in that signing. So they basically did that so they can have him as their starting center because they were friends with him at that time. So that's why Jared Allen came off the bench. But the season started off kind of rocky. They started off winning their first two games, but in their third game, they suffered a crucial blow with Spencer Dinwiddie tearing his ACL. But hope would soon come. January 14, 2021, James Harden gets traded to the Brooklyn Nets. In that package, they sent Karis LeVert to the Patriots and Jared Allen to the Cleveland Cavaliers out of nowhere. Now, you might wonder why I said out of nowhere. Rumors at that time only had them trading Karis and or Spencer Dinwiddie for James Harden. So the day that trade happened and we heard that they trade Jared Allen, that was just very surprising for a lot of people. But then again, KD and Kyrie wanted to get James Harden, so they had to do what they had to do. That year, they finished second in the East behind the 76ers. Now, in that playoffs, they had a dominant first round against the Boston Celtics, beating them in 5. But James Harden did get hurt that series and started off pretty dominant against the Bucks series in the next round. But again, Kyrie got hurt in Game 3 with a high ankle sprain, and KD was forced to carry, which he did, averaging 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. And in Game 7 was forced to play every second of the game, and he dominated, but they weren't able to get the win. While also James Harden was forced to play on a grade 2 hamstring, but like I said, they still lost. And they were literally 1 inch from going to the conference finals. We all know that famous Kevin Durant shot that he should have been behind the three-point line. But this year was still a positive season for them as they just put together a new dominant trio, so there was no reason to panic going into the offseason. The 2020 Nets came back with the same roster in 2021, but Kyrie Irving wasn't able to play. You might ask why? Well, at that time, New York had a COVID mandate where you were forced to have taken the vaccine to even step foot in the arena. And the Nets wouldn't allow Kyrie to play away games because it would kind of mess up the team's flow and the team chemistry if he just keeps bouncing in and out of end games and home games. January 17, 2022, Kevin Durant suffers another injury that keeps him out for 2 months. But around that time, the Nets allowed Kyrie to play away games, so Kyrie is back. But after the KD injury, they go on an 11-game losing streak. And guess what? Harden requested a trade, because he came to play with KD and Kyrie, but if one is going out with injuries and one is only allowed to play away games, how is he going to get that championship that he so desperately needs? February 10, 2022, James Harden is traded to the Philadelphia 76ers for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and Andre Drummond. Now, at that time, that was a great package if Ben Simmons played the rest of the season. But for the rest of the season, he didn't play as he was still going through back injuries and mental problems. This team ended up getting swept by the future conference champions and the Boston Celtics in an embarrassing series for their stars. And again, the Brooklyn Nets ended up having an eventful summer with the whole Kyrie situation and the Nets not wanting to give him a new contract, but they ended that pretty quickly with Kyrie Irving signing on his player option, and then weeks after that, Kevin Durant requests a trade because he doesn't envision a successful future with this team and decides to tell the owner it's either me or Steve Nash. But the owner stays 10 toes and doesn't trade him, and they go into the season with the same roster. But in the beginning stages of this season, it hasn't been fun. Since then, Steve Nash has been fired because he can't get through to his players. Kyrie is going through more drama that we won't talk about with the front office, but he has been suspended for 5 games without pay and looks like he won't be back past those 5 games. And Ben Simmons has just been a shell of himself, and I won't be surprised in the coming weeks if Kevin Durant demands a trade. With that all being said, I always wonder, do the Brooklyn Nets front office still wish that they signed KD and Kyrie, and do they still wish that they would have went forward with their nice, fun young core and a nice culture that they were building in Brooklyn? Let me know what you think. Other than that, man, this is it for this video. Peace out.